morning. Welcome to Second Unitarian Church. I am Christy Grant, a member of the church's Board of Trustees, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. Today, we're continuing to meet virtually using Zoom, as well as in person at the Admiral of the Lake and in the 2U Sanctuary. We ask everyone's indulgence for the complications of a three-part service. We're glad you're here, regardless of your mode of attending. In Zoom, you'll notice a chat feed available where you can say hello, interact, and share your joys and concerns when we reach that time in the service. You can also use the Zoom closed captioning through the live transcript option. When you would traditionally sing together and read things in unison, you're encouraged to do so as well, even though you're on mute for those on Zoom. Our voices echo through the world, so we will hear one another if we listen closely and sing with our full spirit. And you'll hear people here in the 2U Sanctuary and at the Admiral of the Lake. We're paying close attention to COVID recommendations. This could mean changes at any time. But for now, we recognize that maintaining physical distance, even while masked, is an act of love and protection. The most recent information about all of that is on the Second Unitarian website. We especially welcome newcomers this morning. Finding a new community and making new connections can be challenging. Please know that we're excited to have you and look forward to getting to know you. If you're new to us today, you're welcome to note that in the Zoom chat or mention it in person while chatting after the service. Please feel free to fill out one of these yellow cards if you are here in person at 2U. They're out there on the table. With your contact information to receive our twice monthly newsletters. You can also note if you'd like to have a name tag made for you. For those of you worshiping in the sanctuary at 2U, we are not currently passing the collection plate. But if you'd like to make a donation in person, you can easily place it in the white box on the wall just outside of the sanctuary doors, either before or after the service. There are also envelopes on the welcome table if you'd like to use one of those before or after the service. You may also, like our Zoom participants, text your donation to Second Unitarian. Anybody can do that anytime. The information is in your order of service. Our worship today is led by the Reverend Karen Mooney. Reverend Karen is a lifelong Unitarian Universalist who grew up in rural-ish Wisconsin. She learned the art of church from her parents, who were very involved in the Mequon congregation, where they were members for over 50 years. She is currently serving as the executive co-director for the Unitarian Universalist Advocacy Network of Illinois. In that role, she brings peace circles to congregations like 2U as part of an action, reflection, learning model for anti-racism capacity building. She also served as minister, executive director for the Unitarian Universalist Prison Ministries of Illinois for almost 4 years. Building an organization like that brings the UU faith and its values to people impacted by the prison industrial complex. Karen claims to have been educated far and wide by working and playing, listening, and walking with people. Ultimately, she loves that UU communities are places where you find people who are alive and seeking throughout their lives. Our time together here and in multiple places requires a large group of people who make possible the worship, the music, the technical production. They are listed in the order of service, and we thank them for their ongoing service to the congregation. And now, today, we have a live Fall Fest announcement.
Okay, I was gonna ride this up, but my legs are too short to reach the top. So, that's okay. And those, I tried riding those. My legs are too long to reach those pedals. So, good morning.
Are you wondering why I decided to make my first ever and probably only entrance on a stunning vintage bicycle? Brought to you by Bacardi Bikes. It is one of 3, count them, 1, 2, 3, bicycles being raffled off this week for our silent auction. Buy your raffle tickets ASAP and get in the drawing. You, yes, you could be one of our winners. This is your very last live announcement before our Mrs. O'Leary's Barn Burner Fall fundraiser. Yay! The silent auction began on Friday and will continue until next Sunday night at midnight, the 14th, the day after the party. So I hope you have all logged in to the Text to Bid app and started bidding on the plethora of goodies that everyone has donated. We need everyone to take a look at all the items. Then, just like voting in Chicago, bid early and bid often. Only this is legal. There are some great options to choose from. Laura McKee has graciously put together a visual aid if you need assistance signing into the silent auction app on your mobile phone. And it's only designed to work on your mobile phone. Just go to the 2U website and look at the step-by-step process. She made it really clear. However, if you still need help signing into the app, I will be in the Palmer room after the service to help those at 2U. Harris McKee will be available to help folks at the Admiral. I cannot say that word, Admiral. For those on Zoom, if you look at the website and still are in need of some one-on-one help, Harris McKee has graciously offered to be that person. His contact information is on the website. Next, be sure to buy your tickets to the Barn Burner. They are $35 until Friday at 5 o'clock, $45 on Saturday. Zoom tickets have a suggested donation of $20. If you want to attend in person at 2U, buy those tickets on the website ASAP so we can have an accurate number to alert the caterer, Famous Dave's Barbecue. We would love to have all of the rest of everybody on Zoom, but you do need to register so we can send you the link with the Zoom information on Saturday. And this is very important. All are welcome and all are wanted. If you can't afford the tickets for either in-person or Zoom attendance, please just register so we can get you the information. We've had a number of people purchase extra tickets, so you will be covered. So let's do the summary of this final announcement. Number 1, the silent auction is open for business. Number 2, oh, I forgot to tell you something else about that. Bid early and bid often. Check the 2U website for information on how to get into the app on your mobile phone. Number 2, Mrs. O'Leary's Barn Burner Fall fundraiser is this coming Saturday, not even a week away. Number 3, buy raffle tickets for the 3 bicycles, 1 adult bike and 2 children's bikes. They're a great deal. Number 4, buy your tickets for the Barn Burner party on Saturday, either in person or on Zoom. The in-person party starts at 6 p.m. so we can eat, Famous Dave's, before the entertainment begins. The Zoom portion will begin at 6:30. So, again, quick review, check out the silent auction and start buying raffle tickets for the bikes. Number 2, the party is this Saturday. Get your tickets or register today. I can't wait to see you all there. Thanks.
You can find more information and additional announcements in your order of service. And now I welcome Don McGregor to lead our call to worship.
We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, a community of children, youth, and adults, a people of many beliefs and traditions, bound not by the specific list of things we believe, but the values we share. Whether you are joining us for the first time or the 1000th time, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God some of the time, all of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. Whatever your race, whomever you love, whichever way you move in the world, however much money is in your pocket, you are welcome here. I invite you, as you feel ready, to take a breath in and out. As the music begins, let us enter into our service together.
In a moment, Ben and Julia over Zoom, and I in the sanctuary, maybe I in the sanctuary, and Harris at the Admiral will light our chalice, the symbol of our faith. We light our chalice this morning with these words. With faith, we create a light. With love, we protect that flame. With hope, we gather those who share our values. With gratitude, we claim our place in this community of seekers. Ben and Julia, Harris, would you light our chalice, please? Okay. We're going to... There was a light back here. And now would you join in singing hymn number 1, May Nothing Evil Cross This Door. And rise as you are willing or able.
Please join me in singing hymn number 1, May Nothing Evil Cross the Store. May nothing evil cross this door, and may ill fortune never pry about these windows. May the roar and rain go by. By faith made strong, the rafters will withstand the battering of the storm. This heart through all the world grow chill will keep you warm. Peace shall walk softly through these rooms, touching our lips with holy wine, till every casual corner bloomed into a shrine. With laughter drawn, they'll raucous shout, and though these sheltering walls are thin, may they be strong to keep hate out and hold love in.
Be seated, and we will hear our words of covenant from Don McGregor.
Please join me in reciting our covenant, and the words are on your screen. We covenant to build a community that challenges us to grow and empowers us to honor the truth within ourselves. We will be generous with our gifts and honest in our communication, holding faithful to a love that embraces both diversity and conflict. Called by our living tradition, we will nurture spirituality within a vision of the eternal, living out our inner convictions through struggles for justice and acts of compassion.
So let's celebrate the energy of this room. If you are willing and able, please stand and join me in singing Spirit of Life so that we may inspire those tuning in at the Admiral in the Lake and from home. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Excellent.
Good morning, everyone. It is now time for our story for all ages. So those of you on Zoom, if you have any kids at home, it's a good time to ask them to join you. Today's story is called When Things Are Hard, Remember. It is written by Joanna Rowland and illustrated by Marcela Calderon. You're small, protected, and loved. Shelter keeps you safe and warm, surrounded by others. But then something changes, and it's time to move away. Looks like everybody is feeling a little down. You're scared and lonely, and that's okay. On days when your faith is shaken, remember the tree that loses all its leaves. The animals hibernating beneath the snow. The baby turtle getting ready to hatch. Faith is hoping through winter's cold and crunching snow and blowing wind that everything will be all right. Faith is believing even when things are hard on an unknown journey, when you aren't sure what will happen next, that you will be taken care of. In time, you'll find that even though it's raining and darkness surrounds you, you'll break out of your shell and begin to settle roots. Looks like she's starting a new class. When your roots take hold, you'll begin to sprout and feel the warmth of the sun again. She's making friends. Soon you'll see you were always cared for, even during your hardest time, just like that little plant that's growing. And you'll be like the tree with new blooms, the animals who awoke to spring's promise, the turtle that found its way to the water's edge. And you'll have faith for next time things are hard, faith that something new, something beautiful will sprout, just like you. Sometimes change is hard. It's hard for all of us, but we have to remember that we can get through it and that we are loved. Thank you so much for being with me for the story today.
Each year, we all make a commitment, a pledge to support the ministry of our church. In addition to this contribution, each Sunday we take a collection so that we can share with those doing justice beyond our church community. While we are unable to come together in person, you can still share your resources. To make your contribution, you can send a text and follow prompts. We will have the number on your screen as the music plays for the offertory. For the month of November, we are sharing our plate with the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. And this morning, we will hear some words from Judy Corbet.
Short people, you know. Our plate share for November is the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee's Guest at Your Table program. We may forget that the UU Service Committee got its start in 1939 when UU Minister Reverend Waitstill and Margaret Sharp went to Europe to aid refugees fleeing Nazi persecution. A year later, the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee was formed to carry out their humanitarian work. By 1945, the Universalist Service Committee was also founded. The groups merged into the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee that we know today in 1963. Looking at their website, you are blown away by their humanitarian activities throughout the world. They're active in over 20 countries right now. The group advances human rights and social justice, partnering with those who confront unjust power structures and mobilizing to challenge oppressive policies. Their work is grounded in the belief that all people have inherent power and dignity. The Guest at Your Table program, which we're supporting this month, is their longest established fundraising and educational program for UU congregations. It's meant to be intergenerational, to help all of us, our youngest to our oldest members and friends, to know about their work. Pre-pandemic, we used to pass out little boxes where we could drop in our coins and bills. No boxes this year, but for those of you with children, we hope that you'll be creative and make a box or use a jar or whatever and pretend that you have a guest at your table. For the rest of us, we are sharing our collection all of November. You'll be hearing more about it the next couple of Sundays, but please be generous, and thank you very much for that generosity.
Please join me in the offertory words. The words are in your order of service and should be on your screen quite shortly. Right. This church is the community of ourselves. Its energy and resources are our energy and resources. Its wealth is what we share as we contribute to the life of this community. We affirm it and enable its participation in the larger world around us. The offertory will be generously given and gratefully received. Thank you very much.
I invite you now into a spirit of prayer, of meditation. Let us start by breathing together this simple act of taking in and letting go. Giving thanks for our lungs, our body, the earth, this community, this life we have honed, imperfect and whole, holy and incomplete. Into this one life, many memories have been formed. Into this one life, tasks are still beckoning. into this one life sorrow and regret, and into this one life joy and passion. Into this one life comes an awakening that we exist fully with one another, and so we remember those who must make choices, those who need rest, those who grieve, those who are strong, those who bring peace, those who need shelter, those who are not free, those who give mercy, and those who are in pain. We remember these times for ourselves and for others. Take a few moments now. Remember in the spirit or act of prayer. Into this shared silence, I invite you now to speak the name of anyone you wish to lift up into this loving support of this community. With our deepest compassion, let us hold in our hearts those named and those that remain unspoken, those remembered and those forgotten. Into this one life comes the light of community, a gift to be seen, a gift to be comforted and held, the burdens to be shared. In the coming week, as a nation, we will remember those who served in war. Let us include, as we remember, those who live in war in their homes, on the streets, in the various prisons we have made with bars, but also with racism, classism, ableism, and more. Let us remember those who fight every day to stay alive because living seems too hard. Let us remember. Let us remember the veterans of life. Let us attend to all who have been in, at, or of war, so that we remember to work towards peace. So let it be. Salam, Shanti, Shalom. Amen. Blessed be. At this time, I'll light 2 candles, one representing the joys and celebrations we are experiencing, and the other representing the concerns and sorrows we hold. As we wish to return to our congregational ritual of lighting candles for joys, concerns, sorrows, I want to demonstrate the way the Sunday Service Committee is maintaining our safety and comfort with each other. You are invited to come up and get a candle from one of the ushers, or have the usher light a candle for you as you end your time of contemplation and candle lighting. We invite you to use use the hand sanitizer available so we can be clean and safe together in this service. At this time, I invite our friends at the Admiral to come forward and take a pebble from one bowl, hold it tightly, putting your energy into that stone and knowing your joys and sorrows will be shared by this community. Let it go lightly into the other bowl. As the music continues, I invite those of you on Zoom to share your joys and concerns in our chat window. And so, let the candle lighting begin. Behold all of this. Behold all of these candles of joy, concern, whatever they represent. Behold all of that. And all of those things that remain in the silent sanctuaries of your heart. Don will now share our reading.
Our reading is the poem In Silence by Bong. What is required of us in our time is that we go down into uncertainty, where what is well known is not known as well. That we go down into the most human, where living men have vanished, and the music of their meaning has been trapped and sealed. What is asked of us in our time is that we break open our blocked caves and find each other. Nothing less will heal the anguished spirit, nor release the heart to act in love.
I was visiting somebody in the hospital, and I spotted a sign for rooftop garden. My curiosity led my feet to a place of refuge in an otherwise really chaotic space. It was just off the oncology wing. I think it was on the second floor. And a full city block, it felt like, had been transformed. In the middle of this space was this long, low fountain. Not the spritty kind that shoots water up, not any of those. This was a long fountain where water just seemed to slip off the edge. Oh, I sat there. Who wouldn't if you had a moment? And as I sat there, I noticed this leaf drop on the water, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of interesting. And I watched, and suddenly a whirlpool formed in the water, and a leaf got away. And then another whirlpool formed, and the leaf spun away, and another whirlpool formed, and the leaf got sucked down in. And my heart felt a little sad. But then I noticed the leaf pop up again, a little farther away, and do this dance over and over again for as long as I felt like I could sit and watch. We know this, right? That no one gets away in life just floating. All of us take a turn in the whirlpool. All of us sometime get sucked down into something that was not there a second before. Eventually, something brings us into a headlong spin, and we get just sucked down where we don't know if we can breathe. It might be work, it might be health, it might be family. Some whirlpools last a whole lifetime. Some seem small and inconsequential if you're standing far away, but let me tell you, when you get sucked down into that whirlpool, it does not matter if it seems inconsequential to somebody else. You have stopped being able to breathe. Even the most joyous whirlpools can be disorienting. Bad ones are discouraging and frightening. Obviously, each whirlpool is different, and some are just super complicated. If you've lost your job, you're spinning in this whirlpool because somebody fired you or let you go, whatever the terminology is. And guess what? At the same time that you're spinning in that whirlpool, you have to buck up and look good to go on job interviews where people will reject you again. If you lost a partner, You may be spinning in this space where the one person that you would go and talk to about how much life sucks right now is gone. We're living in an era of COVID, right? I mean, look at us, distanced away from each other, masked. I'm like, I think I know that person. I'm not entirely sure. I would like to know that person. I like their mask, but who knows, right? This time has brought us into this place of spinning where we are re-examining who it is that we are, how it is that we live, what it is that we value. If you live in a violent area, well, guess what? That spin might just involve you having to figure out how to feel safe while you deal with the rest of life. Life is out there, and at some point, it will be our turn to get sucked down into a place that was not there a moment before. At some point, though, usually the whirlpool lets go and we float up into normal life again. We pop back up onto the surface, that smooth, beautiful surface. But oddly enough, we're not usually in the same place. Life is different because within something, whether by choice or by accident, life has happened. And we are changed. So, in remembering, we gather with an essential part of life, breath. If nothing else, no matter where I am on the pool, I must breathe. Somehow, I must breathe. In calmer moments of my life, I can hold on to that image of a whirlpool and know its truth, that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay not to be perfect, not to know when you stand or when you sit in a worship service, even though everything is in a script. Ugh. it's about as countercultural as you could ever imagine, right? Even coming in here today, I see these people in their masks, like, hi, how are you? It's the thing that we do, right? And what's the answer? Fine, I'm fine, right? It's obligatory. I went through chemotherapy, like serious chemotherapy, lost all my hair, and people would come up to me and say, how are you doing? I'd be fine. I might add, I'm considering, right? But I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. I had such a desire to hide the whirlpool that I was within that I said, I'm fine to anybody and anything that I could. We are relentless in our desire to hide the whirlpools, relentless in believing in the effects that they have. But trust me, if you say fine when you don't have any hair, people sort of know it might not be. This fine response is so countercultural that it even shows up in humor. Okay, I'm going to age myself. Monty Python? Oh, thank God, somebody raising their hands. So they have this fabulous skit. Monty Python is a UK humor-based group that came out, I don't know, probably in the 60s or 70s. Ugh, purple hair hides something, whatever. They had this script. It didn't come from chemotherapy. They had this script that was a King Arthur script. The King Arthur comes up to this knight who is guarding a bridge, and King Arthur wants to get through. And King Arthur, the knight, have this fight, and the knight's arm is severed, spurting up blood, and he's standing there fighting King Arthur. "'Tis but a scratch. I will lead on. Fight, fight, fight." Eventually, all limbs gone on the ground, still shouting, "I'm fine. 'Tis but a scratch. I will give my honor for my country. I've had worse." Oh my God. We are capable of accepting that life has changed us. Logic would tell us that to reclaim life after something has happened or when we're in the midst of something means to reorientate yourself and be where you are, accepting that something has happened. Talking to people about the changes that are going on. Not just going back to, yep, life is normal. Sorry, 2 million people have died around the world, but oh well. Holy crap. Within a year, COVID killed enough lives that 1 person per minute died. 525,600 minutes. Do you remember when we hit that number? We have been changed. We live in a culture, though, that encourages us enthusiastically to deny any of those truths. Instead, preferring for us to appear as if everything is just fine. The house dusted, the kids off to school, the car payment made, whatever it is for you. It is why the night sketch is so funny. And we deny the effects of our living at our own peril and our worlds. If we're not honest, if we maintain what we are culturally asked to maintain, the fitting inness of life, when we deny whirlpools spit us out change, we start to rely on defense mechanisms to balance the unbalanced world, right? We compartmentalize, we act out, we regress. I'm sure that nobody here has ever been angry. Nobody here has ever taken a drink because it was a hard flippin' day. Instead of dealing with what is, in this week when we remember veterans, and we add the impact of all who were impacted by trauma, I remember that the effects of life-threatening encounters and the results of ignoring their impact can most possibly be seen clearly when we look at them in their extreme. People have written about soldiers' negative responses to war for centuries. The Greek historian Herodotus wrote that warriors with no wounds. In the 16th century, Portuguese physicians joined with the term of estarrota, literally to be broken. 1863, the first U.S. military institution was opened for Civil War soldiers with exhausted hearts. At the beginning of World War I, though, even with all of that, we did nothing for shell shock because they thought it was a physical thing. Sadly, in the 1900s, most professionals stigmatized those suffering from PTSD as weak in character, even though some say that twice as many soldiers experience psychological casualties as the response to war as physical wounding or death. We characterize people as feeble for 3,000 years who had put themselves in the way and had been asked to do some of the most brutal things in our world. And imagine just for a moment that that is true, as I said in our prayer. And these people are not just the veterans of wars out there. There are veterans of war, of life right here, right now. And we ask you to put that away. I wonder what it would be like for us instead to ask the questions. I know I've thought about this with my own grandfather. Stoic man, drank every night, used anger and belittlement of most of his family as a way to make it through. He had served in Italy in World War II. We never got spaghetti in their house. Weird. I wonder what it would have been like for him if he had been able to talk about why he held on to 4 lapel pins from Mussolini's army, how he got them, what they meant. This history of PTSD and soul wounding, heart exhaustion, highlights in the extreme a truth of our culture. We are not supposed to be affected by life. We are supposed to pick up, dust off, and carry on. You may face trauma, but you're not to appear to be affected. They make great stories, but don't ever not be fine. You're not supposed to talk, you're not supposed to grieve, you're not supposed to rant, anguish, fret, regret, or be otherwise changed by life experiences. These are a sign of weakness. In a culture that does not talk and act and reflect and understand the whirlpools of life, we are all relegated to being just fine. And fine means fitting in wherever it is that you find yourself. Fitting in, whether or not that's comfortable, whether or not fitting in means letting go of your heritage, whether or not fitting in means not talking about the experiences that you've had in life, whether fitting in order to be here. And in this place, I say no. The world is rotten sometimes. It is horrible. I am sure that one of the first things that we cannot change, or that one of the first things that we could change, is to obliterate this fineness that we demand of one another. What if I asked that question? Just imagine, we are all people who have language within us. Imagine if I asked that question, how are you? And instead of saying fine, you used a different word. I am conflicted. I am sad. I am angry as hell. I am full. Imagine if in this place, in these places, in Zoom, at the Admiral, if we made an agreement to say, we know that life affects us, that things like transphobia, that things like racism are real and are here, and we are impacted by them. And so I will ask you that question, but do me the honor of showing up and answering it in a real way. And if I don't have the time, if I'm just asking that because I want to feel good about asking somebody if they're fine, don't ask the question, right? When I was there with no hair and a hat on my head and trying my best to make it through life, people would come up, whiz by, how you doing? When I said fine, what that demanded of me was that I take care of that person. I'm fine. Oh, good. I get to walk away. She's fine. No. Here in this place, let us be honest with one another. Let us speak the stories of our truth. Like the fountain as a religious community, we gather in the presence of all of this, right? We are the water and the leaves. We are smooth and filled with whirlpools, holding our breath as we plummet, wondering if we will surface again, always so close to the edge of change. Here, let us acknowledge the fullness of life without the obligatory fine, so we can here be filled with spirit, with love, with grace. Here, let it be here, because we may need to be fine other places. Let it be here that we can be full. When the singing stops, the sweet air fills your lungs again. The next step is to integrate those dreams of life you thought you would live into this new life and way of being. We make our way to church, to this community, to be filled, to hold our lives with a flood of love and hope. Let us also be filled with the life that we know is. From there, we can start again. This is the work we engage as a community of faith, to make a place for you. to bear witness to the whole of the fountain. In this room today, at the Admiral and on Zoom, someone is spinning. Someone is watching. Someone is coming up for air, and some of us are simply floating. This is the terrible, awkward truth of life. All of this is happening around us at the same time. If we are known as imperfect and whole, holy and incomplete, then let us be known as a people who are reaching towards fullness and justice because we can see the cracks. And within that, we know these words are held. We make a place for you where everything is new. However you are today, I am full, grateful, and sad. From there is an invitation to bear witness, to ask the stories of life. Come, let us make a place where we can lay down those heavy burdens and be with one another, for one another. Not fine, maybe fine, but whole and holy. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down, hallelujah. Since I laid I want you to reach out towards the people that are near you, or reach to your heart, or reach up to all that is holy. My friends, whirlpools happen. But here in this space, we create a space for you to be, for you to find those dreams that are still there, for you to be able to work towards justice because the cracks are there, for you to be able to be your whole and holy self. So mote it be. Amen, and blessed be.